Hello, couplets. Welcome back to another Bear with me, BearElliott. Sometimes a movie goes under the radar. Not a lot of people notice it, and this happens to be one of those movies. It's called The Green Room. It recently popped up onto my radar, kind of in a weird, roundabout way. A friend of mine contacted me and said, "Hey, do you want to go see a movie?" And I'm like, "Oh, of course, I'll never say no to a movie, because I'm going through 52 movies this year, in the year 2016. That's kind of like my personal goal. And when he brought up The Green Room, I was like, I haven't even heard of this one. And I looked at the description of it. I was like, this intrigued me. Well, number one, it has one of my favorite actors on the entire world, Patrick Stewart, of Star Trek fame. Star Trek The Next Generation, not the original. No, if you're a geek, then you know which one I'm talking about. But this one here, this is a very interesting premise. And it's strangely appropriate for what's going on in the United States right now with we're on the verge of some racial tensions. Well, I shouldn't really say we're on the verge. We're right in the smack dab of the middle of it. But here's the premise of Green Room. It's a small band, punk rock band, that are out touring around trying to find gigs and trying to make a name for themselves. Well, they take a gig that kind of goes bad, and as I kind of screwed you over. The guy that hired them says, I have a cousin that has another gig that I can see if he can get you in. And the band, needing money because they are broke, they're traveling around, starving artist. They take the gig, and it turns out that the gig is actually at a white supremacist venue. It was very weird. I'm going, I didn't know such a thing existed, but I'm sure it does. So the band shows up and they realize, okay, this is a kind of a white supremacist group, and they witness a murder. Well, they kind of stumble upon it. And Patrick Stewart is the club owner, and he's called in when they are discovered that they stumbled upon this murder that takes place, and he very casually sets up them to be eliminated and to be removed from the scene. And just, it's interesting because it's a suspense, it's horror, not in the traditional ghost and that kind of thing, but these guys are being hunted down by these white supremacists. And what happens is, what really is weird, now we were one of 5 people in the theater when we saw this, because I've not seen any kind of advertisements for this. It's definitely an indie flick. And what was really disconcerting about this whole entire movie is that you can see this happening. And the gore in it is very realistic. You have these movies like Saw, and where you have blood squirting out and that kind of thing. It's not like that. With the gore effects, it's very, very realistic. They took a lot of time and a lot of focus of, okay, what would happen if somebody took I don't know what they took, but it was obviously some kind of hatchet or machete to this guy's arm, and what would it look like? And that was what was so disturbing about it. And you can see these 4 kids just happen to stumble upon a murder scene, and the white supremacists just stage it so that it looks like, it's just so weird. And then there's a subplot. It's a little bit hard to follow when it comes to the dialogue, because they use a lot of internal, white supremacist lingo that I didn't catch up on. And then afterwards I Googled a lot of it, and I was like, oh my God, this is real. So it's an interesting movie, and it's not playing in a lot of theaters. A lot of indie flicks are this way. They're only in certain theaters, but it's called Green Room. And if it happens to come to your town or to a theater near you, I strongly recommend seeing it because it's so interesting. It really got me intrigued. It captivated me and kept me interested through the entire flick from the beginning to the end. Now, I am not into punk rock music, but I really got into this movie. So overall, out of 5 paws, I'm giving this definitely a solid 4. This is one of those movies where I think you should go see, digest it, and it creates a lot of dialogue afterwards. So that's always a great time. And it's not one of those movies that, the big budget, like we have Captain America Civil War coming out. It's nothing like that. You can tell it was done on a very minimal budget, but the actors were extremely dedicated, and it really will suck you in. So go see The Green Room, starring Patrick Stewart. And you can't say no to him because he's awesome. So I hope that you are having a wonderful day, and yet another movie down for my 52. We just seem to be like chopping away at them. So have a wonderful day, and until next time, bye, cublets!
I could go out in the darkness, see you calling my name. I hear you shouting, hear you calling, but it's not the same. Every word that you are throwing right into my back doesn't matter to me, cause I'm keeping my track. Let me go, let me go.